Hey, welcome back. It's old reader, new reader. Steven's back. Woo! Hi,
First time
Steven.
in a long time.
Hello, Steven, aka Vamp Boy. Very cute.
That's
Very cute.
me.
We're here. This was suggested by Steven. Good job, Steven.
Yeah, what can I say?
Yay, Steven.
You were like,
Just
hey, spooky things. And I was like, well, it'll be November, but this is spooky.
yeah, I'll read spooky stuff anytime, so it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Jess is very excited that you're here.
Hey, Jess.
One of these days you'll have to meet. Well, you did meet. Did you meet the con or not? I don't remember. No, you weren't at that con. Never mind. God,
No,
I
I
get
wasn't at that
confused.
con.
Yeah, so
The
confused.
only con I go to where I see anybody is I see Kristen at Heroes.
Yeah, I like to go Heroes eventually. I'm
Yeah, you
so
gotta
bad at
get down
scheduling
here.
conventions anymore. I used to like have that stuff scheduled all year, and now I'm
Heroes
like,
is
oh yeah,
it's solid.
I make it to Magfest, and then I forget about every other con.
I just
So
tell people, I'm like, Heroes is the con you go to if you want to go to a con that's actually about comics.
that's what I hear,
Um,
and it sounds great because our local con is like partly Power Rangers, which is great. I love Power Rangers.
love it.
Some wrestlers and some other things, but it's not as heavy on the comic book creators. If it is, it's very much one type of comic book creator. I'm thinking if I
Yeah.
can guess without me saying it, the most common type of one. Um,
Mm,
but
it's
they announced a lady,
wow.
so we'll see.
Yeah, see, Heroes is fairly inclusive. They did
Yeah.
include a artist and writer that Chris and I walked by and made comments loudly on purpose every time we walked by just to hope that he heard us. Um,
Yeah.
but aside from that, yeah, there it's good.
Good evening, everybody. I would love to, James.
Go. It's not
Hey,
that far.
bonsoir.
You can stay with us.
That's what I like to hear.
Yep,
Not
in our
paying bro.
two-bedroom apartment.
I'll sleep on the floor. I did a MagFest. That was a mistake.
Yeah, we're old.
Yeah, I messed up. Good evening, all. I read the series. I can participate. Yay! I did too. Woo!
Hey, me too.
What's that
Sort
face
of.
about? Why you make that face, Robbie? I love you. Why you make that face at me?
I don't know. He's sus about me.
No, Robbie's cool.
It's like,
All
oh no,
right.
this guy.
Robbie's my guy. Talking DC versus vampires. So we're talking all of it. This includes. Well, I don't know what's included in your books because you have the physical copies, right? Look at
Yeah.
that. Look at that. Look at that.
So much going on. Oh, which way's the camera? So much going on right here. It is the full mini series, plus the full All Out War. I guess it's a maxi series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus the entirety of All Out War 1 through 6, and this one has killers in it, and this one has hunters in it,
Okay,
which were the
that
one
was gonna be my
shots.
next question. Yeah.
Which
Okay.
one of those one shots is like my favorite part of the whole thing.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but it's an event. Here's the main image. Oh, you can see my reflection in it. My screen is very bright.
It's
Hang on.
okay.
Is that better?
It's fine. You look good. It's good.
Okay, because I accidentally turned my screen like off.
Oh no. Oh, Kate said, I'm excited DC will be continuing this series under Elseworld, so that's cool.
Yes, I'm psyched. There's a sequel series. I think it's called
Yeah.
DC. I think it's called DC versus Vampires, like
Again.
World War V or something. I really think it is World War V. I gotta look it up now.
So I'll give the brief overview of this. Now you're gonna be surprised. Some of our favorite. Also, I don't know if you can hear Moose loudly licking.
Moose. Ah, Moose. My sweet Moose.
Um, but basically, in this, vampires happen, and some of our favorite DC villains and DC heroes become vampires. So I will say we do spoilers in this show. So we can't really talk without spoiling it. I will say there's so much happening here. I don't have the brain capacity to remember every single character and things that happen here. So even me discussing this isn't going to spoil the whole thing because a lot of this is very action heavy as well. So, even though the whole premise is like, who's a vampire, who's not a vampire, who can you trust, who can you not trust, who's in charge of all this, where is this all going? That's a big part of it, but also a bigger part is just the action sequences. It's a very heavy action event. And very fan servicey because they're like, throw this character in there.
I'm okay with it.
Ghoster Gold a new outfit. Yeah, absolutely. Mary Marvel. Yeah, a lot of dead man. Go for it.
You got Roy.
Barely. And I'm a little upset about that because Roy existed in Elseworld where he is a vampire hunter, literally, and they didn't do that in this.
Yeah, they did not.
That's literally his whole deal. In a whole universe, he's like a really cool vampire. It's whatever, though. It's fine. Still happy to see him, barely. But yeah, Green Arrow, of course, is very cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's the easiest overall way to,
Lord, I don't know.
Do we want to, do we give initial opinions? Or wait till the end?
Man, this is tough because this isn't something that sometimes when we review things, we'll go kind of piece by piece, right? There's a lot happening. I guess we can talk about the beginnings of how things kind of come together. We can talk about our initial thoughts of that, with how and everything.
So I love James Tynion. I'm a Tynion fanboy. Everybody knows that. I love the art from these books.
Otto Schmidt.
A lot of people had issues with the art for some reason.
I'm surprised. I thought it was good. Yeah.
There was some who's the dude that did Suicide Squad at the time? He had some pages in there.
Was it in
looking
the extra stuff?
No, it was in the main series when they were going back and forth between the Suicide Squad and the actual. Yeah, it was actual, this art.
Yeah, because there's this cool moment as we're starting to see how other groups are dealing with the vampires and the art switching. So that art was who was doing the art in the main stuff, or it was just someone else.
That's the person who I think was doing covers for Suicide Squad at the time, but I can't remember. Honestly, I can't remember. I read it when it first came out. Initially, and then I somewhat read All Out War when it first came out. That one was harder to keep up with from week to or month to month.
Yeah, so I guess let's start at the beginning of the whole thing. And then we don't have to go piece by piece because there's a lot. But
page.
But basically, it starts out with this vampire. Is he? I don't know if he's. This is where Omar would be helpful. I have no idea if this vampire.
He's a DC character.
Okay.
Andrew Bennett. It's there was a book called I, Vampire.
Oh, is that like a New 52 thing?
No? There wasn't a New 52 series.
Okay.
About it. That's not. I don't think that's where he's first from.
Okay.
Oh no, because I have a copy of an I, Vampire comic from the 80s.
Okay.
Because I thought the cover was cool. Yeah, no, I, Vampire is his series, so it's they do bring a lot of the dark DC characters into it.
Yeah,
John Constantine,
Azazel. I don't know his names. That's so ridiculous.
Are you talking about the fake Batman, Azrael?
No, the other vampire guy. Not Man-Bat. Yeah, Azazel.
Azazel's from I don't know. Now I'm I don't know.
Anyways, so basically it's really cool the way it starts out because he's a vampire trying to make his way. And we see him reach the Justice League. He's like, hey, here's all that's happened to me. All this crazy stuff happened. My ex-girlfriend, aka the president of the vampires, she's dead. They're trying to cause an uprising, and I think some people are infected elsewhere. And Hal Jordan's there, and he's like, yeah, man, I got your back. Actually, psych, no, I don't. I'm going to kill one of the Wonder Twins, and I'm going to kill you. I'm a vampire. Surprise. I'm like, whoa. Because he's like, Lex Luthor was there, and he told me, he gave me his blood, like this blood, a vial of blood that'll like cure vampirism or whatever, or kill vampires. And he told me to come here. And you're thinking, oh man, what a bummer. He made it all the way to Justice League, and Hal Jordan killed him, and one of the Wonder Twins. Dang. And that kid was just like, golly gee, Mr. Vampires sure are scary. And you're like, it's very cute.
His whole purpose was just to be like a sweet young boy that was killed off, and to make his sister way more badass.
Oh, very cool.
Because the Wonder Twins are, let's be honest, the Wonder Twins are kind of a joke.
Yeah.
But she is the main character. Spoilers, she makes it to the end. She's the main character, or one of them, in the second one. And they showed this image, and she's like in like a nun's outfit, but like with like swords. It looks very cool.
Oh yeah. And now I'm out of focus. Whatever, it'll come back. Oh, there we go. But it turns out he left a letter with Bruce. Because Lex already knew who that Batman was Bruce Wayne. He's like, who he didn't tell him to go to Justice League, he told him to go to Bruce. So he left the note for him so Bruce would know.
So, yes, essentially what then happens is that sets off a chain of events where we start to realize there are already vampires within the hero and villain community, but people start to be turned. So that the immediate thing, I guess, that happens is Hal Jordan kills Barry Allen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Snaps his neck.
He's like, hey, Barry, my guy, I really want it to be you. But my boss said it. You can't hang with us.
Right. And that's when you're like, wait. Don't whine at me, dog. That's when that's when you realize he's not. Because I was like, oh, so like Green Lantern's the like vampire guy. He's the big boy. And that's when you realize he's not. He also turns Wonder Woman. And they convince the Justice League that Bruce killed Barry.
Yeah.
And so
which
the
is
Justice
great.
League goes to basically arrest him.
And during all this, right, we have this background of like that Bruce has gotten the Bat family together. And he's put holy water in all their drinks. He's beating them in the middle of the day. And already they're like, whoa. In the middle of the day. Why are we meeting? It was really cute.
My favorite scene.
It was very cute.
In the entire series.
They make them all have a drink. And it's really cute because Damien's like, wait, what'd you put in here? And he's really upset because he spilled his cocoa. So they want him cocoa. And so he tests all of them. It's like, okay, you guys are cool. Let me just cue you in. Here's what's going to happen. And then they go off to like check stuff out. But there's also a cute scene where Alfred's like, why didn't you test me? And he was like, no, I trust you. But also...
I had the boiler blessed, so when you drew your bath last night, it was holy water. Yeah, no, that whole sequence is wonderful. And you get a lot from my favorite character, who also is coming in about this time in the series, which is related to your favorite character, in that mine is Green Arrow. And this is a very Green Arrow heavy story, which I'm so grateful
about
for.
Him and that Batman scene when they first...
Oh, when they're fighting each other and they think the other one's a vampire? Yeah.
It
felt like something out of Buffy.
Oh, absolutely. Like, wait, I thought you... Oh, but I thought you... Oh man.
And then all of a sudden...
shoot me with, like, holy water arrow. What is this?
Yeah, why'd you try to stake me? And it's like, because you're a vampire. No, you're a vampire. And why are you whining? And it really feels like, yeah, when I saw that scene, it feels like something out of like a Buffy thing, because then all of a sudden, immediately they're like, wait, we're fighting each other. We shouldn't be. And then boom, something busts through the door and it's time to fight. And so the team up happens. But
and then we find out who the big bad is.
Oh my God. As a person who whose other favorite character is that person.
We
So
can talk about it.
I'm
It's
obsessed with
early.
it. It is. It's halfway through the series. They just like
Yeah.
they throw it at you. Because eventually they all. I'm trying to remember what exactly happens, but they're able to capture Hal and eventually kill Hal.
Yeah.
And Diana is the
Well,
other
because
main.
Green Arrow just kills him.
Yeah. Oh,
Which is a
yeah. Because
big
that was
it's a
like a
big
really
deal
yeah.
because they're
That scene's
buds.
very sad.
Yeah, they're buds, but he feels so betrayed because he's like, "No, you're in here, but there's nothing they can
Yeah.
do."
Well, yeah, because Bruce says like, "What the hell are you doing? Like, what are you?" And he
Yeah.
said, "You know what? Talk to me when you have to put down one of your family." And it's just like, oof, oof.
Yeah.
But I know that, yeah, eventually I can't even remember how we get to it, but everything seems like it's okay. And then Nightwing shoves his fist through Batman, like you see in Injustice when Superman
Yeah.
punches through the Joker. He like straight up through Batman and kills him. And that made me very sad.
Yeah, so it's revealed so there's basically Bruce gets hits off, actually it's one of your people. It's one of your family that is.
Mhm.
And it's revealed that it's been Nightwing this whole time. Basically, he was able to do something with his blood, with Tamaraining blood or something, to make it
Mhm.
so that way he would resist some of the things that, vampires are typically weak against.
Right. It
It
was
was
like
revealed
a
that he's the lead vampire now. And they sprinkle a little bit of like how he got there, and it's kind of sad. Um,
it is.
but
But
he's
that
like, I mean, he's
scene,
a very good. It's honestly kind of a cheesy vampire, to be honest. To be like a,
oh yeah. He's like a
it's
straight up like
he immediately wears like a long cloak. I was like, honestly, Dick Grayson would. Dick
oh
Grayson would.
yeah. No, I expect him to like talk like all of this. like he's like very like cheesy 1930s vampire and I'm okay with it. I'm here for it.
Yeah,
Um
absolutely.
cuz I love all forms of Robin.
Yeah,
Uh but well, no, because then I go specifically Dick Great, but then I'm like, oh no, then I like this one, and
yeah,
because that scene was brutal for me as a Robin fan,
yeah,
because not only does he kill Batman, he smashes Tim Drake's head with his boot, and
yeah,
goes to turn Jason, and then Green Arrow shoots Jason through the heart and stops him from being turned.
yeah.
But so we lost 3 Robins right
So
there.
fast.
Um, and the only people that get away at that point, I think, are Green Arrow, Damien, and
Babs.
Babs. That's right. Oh, I
Yeah.
love her. She's so good.
Oh,
Yeah, and they
so
take
good.
Cassie because Cassie got like mortally wounded,
Yeah.
which is rough.
And I think
Uh,
like that's a good like first cutoff to talk about like that whole piece. So this is before everything really goes to shit. We can say that now. It's been over 5 minutes on YouTube.
yeah,
Um, so this first part is like kind of setting up the whole thing before we get into like what basically is like a post-apocalyptic world that we're
yeah,
not used to seeing in DC events. This was like super fun. I love the whole like not knowing the whole big picture, not who's where, who's who's a vampire, who's not, where's this all coming from, like the
right.
mystery of it.
Like I really like Tom Taylor's Deceased. Like I really enjoyed every
Yeah,
single one of those series. But to me, this felt more strategic because you didn't know who. Like in
yeah,
Deceased, once they're a zombie, you're like, oh shit, he's a zombie.
yeah.
Um, whereas here, it was like because yeah, there's well, that's in the second half.
Well, yeah, and
But
the reveals are cool too because with Hal Jordan, when you first see him save the vampire guy's name
Andrew
I
Bennett.
forgot, Andrew Bennett, he's outside with him. Andrew Bennett's
Mhm.
like burning up. He's gotten caught. He's trying not to burn alive. And Hal's like, haven't you seen somebody like disintegrate in front of you? It's not a big deal. And he's outside in the light, but it's because of his ring
Ring.
powers. Because the way it deflects light and things, he's able to kind of shield himself from all of that. in a very cool way.
Yeah.
Oh, Daddy Steven.
That's me.
I hate him. Oh, well, I hope your con was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because that's how they end up getting him.
Yeah.
Is they put him under UV light, but the only way that they can stop it is, I'm trying to remember who, someone cuts off his arm.
Yeah, cuts his arm off.
With the ring on the hand and everything, and that's how they end up killing him.
Because they basically, Batman tells his whole family, is like, hey, or Damien's like, we can kill now? Like,
yeah, right.
They're already dead. He's like, sweet. Damien's so pumped. Finally.
Yeah, they're all so psyched to get to kill. No, and then, yeah, I guess kind of where it leaves you of that first half, and I want to say there was a couple months in between the two halves.
It's release,
like when they released them.
Oh, okay.
I think that it kind of leaves you on, they got away, but basically Nightwing and Wonder Woman won, and they turn Clark.
Yeah.
Which is that's bad.
That's real bad.
Because he's the Superman.
Yeah.
So, but no, that's one reason I really like reading it in these, is because like this ends literally right there on that cliffhanger.
Oh, that's perfect.
Of like, because yeah, Superman didn't say that. Superman destroys the White House. Yeah, everything goes to shit, and he just says the world is ours now, the eternal darkness has begun, and then you're like, oh, where's the second volume?
Ryan, we did read the spinoffs, which is actually, so at this point I read all this new DC universe, which I love because they put it
in reading order.
Yeah, so I read DC versus Vampires 1 through 6, and then I read Hunters and Killers, and then basically went back and forth between DC versus Vampires and DC versus Vampires All Out War. So it was just like each issue. Back and forth. Oh no! He's muted himself by accident. That's okay. I'll talk and you do your best. Wait, you're unmuted, but okay. I'm psyched these I Love Omnibussy shirts I heard about. We'll see if Omar ever puts those out. It's probably coming out on like the 1 year anniversary of that soon. So basically, when we come back, we have two like shorter issues, Hunters and Killers. It kind of leads us into what's happening outside of this. So when we come back to everybody, it's been some time later. Things have got out of hand. So many people have been turned already. And when they show up, again, we see Damien, and we see him attack Martian Manhunter, but it's all like a ploy. So even though he's a vampire, he's not like a bad vampire. He's actually helping out the resistance, as it were. Yay, doggy butt. So we see some of that, and we also see Harley Quinn during this moment too, of her dealing with all of these vampires and everything else. I'm no longer in the Omnibussy game, sadly, switching over to Epic's. You know what? Epic Bussy doesn't work as well, I think, unfortunately. Steven will return. It's just me. Usually it's not this close up to my face all the time. And we also get this moment too where like Damien tries to fight back against Dick Grayson. He tries to get close to him. He says that he's brought Alfred because that's the only way he can see him. But actually it's been Martian Manhunter. They end up getting Martian Manhunter, and Dick Grayson releases Damien back to Alfred.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can.
I just unplugged everything because for some reason my headset like died.
It happens. Welcome back. I described Hunters.
Which is sad because I'm like, Hunters is my favorite part.
Oh, talk about it, please, because I just described what happened. Tell me about your favorite parts of Hunters.
My favorite part of Hunters is the end, where
Where he
Alfred
talks to
and
Alfred.
Dick have that conversation. There's a lot, yeah, that gives me a lot of feelings.
Yeah.
Especially when what is it he says to him at the very end?
I'd have to pull it up real quick.
I have it
Fast for
right
me.
here when Alfred's walking away. Yeah, when Nightwing says, "This is goodbye, Alfred," and he says, "Goodbye, Master Richard," and it's just like I don't know, just a little.
It's a sweet moment, and it shows that like there's some thoughts in there, so there's still like some humanity, even though he's doing all these awful things. But
Yeah.
like he still feels a kinship to Damien, and he still feels a kinship to Alfred. And he would rather Damien go home with Alfred and be okay than him just going and kill him. He's like, you're never gonna have a chance to see me ever again. This is it for you two. You got this close, it's never gonna happen again. But I want you two to go ahead. Which is very sweet. Yeah, it's very bittersweet.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which is, yeah, and as a, again, Robin person, like I'm just like, yes, it's more Robin versus Robin. I'm very happy. Damien does what might be the most badass thing, I don't know if you said, in any of these moments, which is he slices open his own leg.
Oh, yeah, I didn't mention it.
Yeah, he slices open his own leg, and inside he has put a wooden stake, like
So cool.
against the bone, and I'm like, well, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
And so then we get a Vampires Killers one shot. So we have like the Hunters one shot and the Killers workshop. One shot. Thank you.
One shots. It's hard to see.
It's been a day. It's been long. Well, then we see Harley Quinn and what she's been up to. Because of course it's an event. You're not going to not bring Harley Quinn. She's hanging out with Catwoman. She's hanging out with other villains, and they're also trying to fight against vampires and keep themselves safe. And she's Solomon Grundy's there, and Clayface. You know I love Clayface. And she's given that vial. It's ended up in her hands, the vial that's from Lex Luthor.
Right.
And so she's trying to protect it from everyone, but everyone's trying to get it from her because all these villains turn vampires. Catwoman has turned vampires, and it's this really funny moment where where is it? She's like, if I turn around and you're a vampire, I'm gonna be so sad. And she turns around, like, oh, I'm so sad. They cut off Solomon Grundy's head, and they turn Clayface into this little bitty cookie-looking thing with this really sad face. Oh, Clayface is one of my favorite villains. I love Clayface so much.
That's a unique but I support it.
It's all because of Tinian's Detective Comics.
That's true. He was great in that run.
It's because of that, and then combined with the Harley Quinn show, but it was primarily Detective Comics. And so I was so sad. She's just got a little face. So sad. I think I could probably share my screen show as long as I'm not showing like everything. Probably. I don't know.
Yeah, that doesn't. I don't know what copyright rules
are.
Look
at him. Look at his little face. It's so sad.
He does become a sad little face.
But yeah, anyway, she fights her way through and ends up kind of going out on her own to figure stuff out. And that's how it ends. So it basically, I'm glad that they had these two in here. I don't know what you thought, like reading them issue to issue. But it was kind of nice to have this sort of like, they didn't throw you in exactly yet, but they gave you a kind of a piece of like what you're about to get into before things get like super crazy.
Yeah. Well, also, if they didn't give you Hunters, which a lot of people didn't pick it up, I remember on the stands.
Yeah.
And then when they got to the second half of the story, they were like, wait, Damien's a vampire? It's like, well, yeah, you needed to read that. And then they also were like, wait, so how does Harley Quinn have the blood? It's like, I know it wasn't.
That would have been super confusing.
Yeah, and people just didn't pick up the one shots, and I was like, it's an event. You kind of got to pick it all up, really.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Like, honestly, if there's anything you can leave out, it is the actual all-out war issues, which are good.
Yeah, they're good.
Don't get me wrong, and I love the art.
So let's talk about that, I guess. So basically now we're entering an all-out war, and there's a bunch of different groups doing things.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Supergirl and Green Arrow. They're still fighting the fight. Black Canary's there. Harley Quinn's joining up. Harbor Gordon Batgirl looking cool as hell.
So
Constantly. Good. So cool. She's got almost like a little like mech suit sort of thing. Look at, I don't know what's happening, but I'm so digging it. Black Canary also has a very cute ponytail. That is important to me. As a style change, it looked very nice.
It's because Black Canary is just very important in general.
Yeah, and so they're all doing their best. We have, John Constantine join the fray. That Wonder Twin whose name I forgot already is there.
Not the dead one.
Not the dead one.
What's her name? Hold on. It starts with a J, and I can't remember it.
I'm not gonna remember that. And then we have All Out War, which is basically them just adding some extra stuff to see what's happening with literally all the other people. And it's in black and white and red, which is very cool. It's a little jarring if you're reading it sequential order.
Trying to not put speech bubbles in, but also get.
It's okay if you're showing it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the Batwoman stuff was so good.
Yeah, and the Batwoman with her having so much red on her suit and everything, it just pops really, really cool.
I love it. And they show, so basically we kind of flip towards the future. You've got Deathstroke there. You got a lot of unlikely team ups are happening. We've got Dead Man around. We've got Man Bat.
Sure. Mary Marvel.
Mary Marvel is my favorite part of this because reading this, it can be. I didn't realize how much I rely on everyone's colors of their costumes to know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So this was difficult for me a little bit to read because a lot's happened. There's a lot of characters, which is great if you know everybody because it can be very fan servicey. You'd be like, oh, now this person's here. This is very cool. It can be a little more difficult when you're used to seeing their colors. Like when Starfire shows up, and I have no idea that's Starfire until they mention Tamaranean Blood. And then I keep forgetting it's Starfire because I can't tell it's her every time because her hair's not big either. It's very tough. But Mary Marvel was very cool during this. And I can't tell you a lot of what happened during this because I was confused. But the coolest part... I'm sorry, everybody at home that read this. They were like, all these details. I'm so sorry. I read it today. A lot was happening in there. Very action, very heavy. But my favorite bits are what Mary's going through in this. Because as they're having all these fighting, they're trying to help each other out. They're trying to power up Supergirl again. Because the sun is gone right now. Supergirl is weak. They're running out of options here. Especially if they have to go head-to-head with Superman. Booster Gold is just working the farms. He calls himself Farmer Michael during harvest season. It's been some time since this has all started. Which I love, too, because there's a slide about, I always thought I was an idiot. So, I'm a Booster Girl. I'm a Booster Girl.
Booster Girl.
But Mary Marvel, basically, we find out as issues go on that she was bitten. But as her regular human self. And she realized quickly after she had been turned, or not completely turned, that if she Shazammed, she's fine. She has a healthy self that she has access to. And it was so heartbreaking, this whole bit back and forth. Especially, she had to kill Billy. I mean, it was rough. It was really rough.
It got dark.
It got pretty dark. Because something happened. She had to kill him, and she she unshazammed herself, turned back into regular Mary, and then she was a vampire, sucked his blood out, killed him. And she liked it because that's her vampire side. And her having to deal with that, she's like, I don't know what to do. No one should be near me. I'm not sure. You should kill me. And she's talking to Ghost John Constantine, who's not there. And it was rough because she's having to deal with that. She's like, I shouldn't be here.
Right.
And she still has to power through that and fight back because they're running out of time. She's got to help Supergirl. She's got to do all these things. She's got to fight against Superman. She has a lot on her plate as being one of the few very superpowered individuals that can fight back against these vampires. Which sounds so silly when you put all these words together, only in a comic book show. Can we talk about all this and have it make sense? If I went to the real world with people who know me but only read comics a little bit or like see the movies, you know how silly all this sounds?
Oh, it sounds ridiculous. I literally had some to finish today reading, and I was like, I could just bring it to work. And then I was like, no, no, I can't. Because if people
No.
at work see just like this, they're going to be like, what the hell are you reading, bud? And I'm like, oh, it's DC versus vampires. And they'll be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've already got enough like Robin, Red Hood, Nightwing toys on my desk.
I wish.
Oh yeah,
I'm
they're
working
all
on the whole unmasking things and showing more of myself with that, but not there all the way.
Oh yeah, I
But
just went all out.
they throw everybody out here because yeah, we've got Slade, we've got John Constantine, we have some people I do not recognize. We have the big. Oh my god, this sounds so dumb. He's a big metal guy. He was Legends of Tomorrow.
Wait, what?
He's a big metal guy, and he get energy, and he's got like a red symbol right.
For a second, I thought you were talking. I was like, Cyborg.
No, that's not here. Oh, his name's Nate. But what's his actual name?
Oh,
Nope. Somebody will know. James
yeah.
will know.
Somebody say something.
Anyways, but yeah, he's there. Damage is here. There's like so many people. And they just keep throwing more and more of these people at you. And they have these little side stories as well adding on. That just keep giving you more info on everything that's happening. And it's a lot, but it's very like action-packed. It's very fun. I found myself getting lost in it. But I think a lot it's because of the lack of color. And I didn't realize how much I leaned on that to know who was who.
Mm-hmm. I could see that though.
I still enjoyed it. Like, the very emotional parts that were happening still resonated with me.
Yeah, I like I like the choice to put it in some of the black, white, and red type of stuff because I really like those series they were doing for a while.
Yeah.
And it
like the
almost
Harley Quinn one.
Yeah, and then like I know Marvel's done a ton of them, the like Black, White, and Blood series.
Yeah.
But I feel like
Thank you. Steel. We got there.
but you also got Steel in the main series, but it's John oh my god.
I just know
John Henry Steel.
Oh, okay. I just know this one.
Yeah, because he was in the main series trying to protect
Supergirl.
Yeah. So yeah, then all that happened. I guess there's a whole war. Do you want to go on to the second half of the?
Let's go. Yeah.
Great so first image.
Yes. I mean, this first one back is filled with very sexy things because you get this great, typical Ollie and Dinah moment. They're talking, and Oliver's like, "I gotta leave. I take care of this." And they're like, "We gotta make love first."
Sweet, sweet love.
That nice punishment art, and the very sexy like Batgirl Barbara having dreams about.
Yeah, about her and Nightwing, which eventually it is revealed that he was entering her dreams.
Which honestly, this is as somebody who's watched a lot of vampire cinema. That's all on point. That's and it's beautiful too. I do want to show this really quick. This page.
The page where they're banging.
Is that not gorgeous?
It's really cool. Yeah.
That's so beautiful. Like, that's gorgeous. It's so incredible.
Yeah, the book got real weird all of a sudden. So that first one back, a lot of the story revolved around like this kind of other team of like Jaina, and it's the kind of the formation. What's the guy's name? The Skull Man. Why can't I think of his name?
The Skull Man.
Dr. Oh my god, he's literally a skeleton.
Mm,
I cannot remember for the life of me.
I
But
don't know.
he and
I know Frankenstein's here, and I love him.
oh yeah, we do get Frankenstein. We also get Killer Croc very briefly,
Oh, not enough Killer Croc, to
just
be
coming up out of
honest.
the water, and he does the thing, and
Oh,
he
love him.
basically his whole role is to be like password. And then she doesn't know the password, and he just like slinks back into the water, and she's like, "No, Director Bones, that's his name. Director
Okay.
Bones sent me," and he's like, comes back up like, "Oh, well, you
Did
should have said
he?
that."
I hope they
Um,
animate this one.
oh my god, it'd be incredible. It would definitely need to be one of their R-rated
Oh, for sure.
ones. So you find out that basically all of the heroes that are left are hiding in the bottle city of Candor,
Yeah.
um, which is kind of cool. I was like,
Yeah, it's a
that's
cool, like,
insane.
Kryptonian, like, very neat that this exists, that they're able to, like, hang out there.
Yeah, and so they're. I feels like a lot of it's just them like prepping. What are
Yeah,
we
it's a
gonna
lot of them
do?
prepping, it's a lot of different groups talking and fighting. There's some cool reveals through here because, like, we figure out for a while they're teaming with Black Manta, and, like, that's really cool. I'm like, "Oh, man, dope." And they
Well,
go to fight Arthur, and who is Black Manta? But Mira, and she looks so cool, and she cut her hair, and she's got cool scars on her
oh
face.
yeah. Well, it's
Oh,
because I remember reading it and being like, but Black Manta was already dead at the Legion of Doom in the very
yeah,
first issue.
yeah,
So I was like, how is that gonna happen? And then yeah, so Arthur, we don't know this until he shows up, but he is now a vampire.
yeah.
Um, and looks pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, very
Huh.
cool. Like, his whole, like, skin tone, everything was very cool. Um,
It's yeah,
looks
it's very
wild, and
good.
Mara looks so cool. I won't say that for long, but this great he's like, "You are not Black Manta. He died a coward's death in the first days of our conquest, and yet I find you hiding your face, pretending to be my former foe." And he's like, "So I must ask you, imposter, who would dare enter a kingdom and call the king a coward?" And she's like, "A queen."
Yeah,
And then he's like, "Whoa, it's Mary." He's like, she's like, "Do not speak to me as if you know me anymore, creature." Oh man,
it's
so
Shakespeare.
cool. It's so cool. At this point, it's been I guess years because like Ollie has like a long beard and long hair
Yeah.
because we shoot back and forth. We see them like before he leaves, and now he's like he's been on the land.
Yeah, I feel like you've got like three for the rest of the series. You have like three
Yeah,
main stories that are going on. You have them trying to protect Supergirl and get her to this place in Australia where she can charge for the sun.
yeah,
Because without the sun, she has no powers and she's just Kara. Um, and so that's going on. And then there's Ollie, who goes to the blood farms that they've set up because
yeah,
they've set up human blood farms, which are, let's be honest, essentially internment camps
yeah.
for human beings where they milk them for blood.
Looks kind of like the Matrix.
It's like a dairy farm,
Yeah,
but for blood.
yeah,
Um, and so he kind of like starts an uprising there. He pees on something and Swamp Thing appears. It's a very
yeah.
weird situation. So that is going on, and basically he's like, "Hey, there's going to be somebody here, and I'm here to talk to the big guy." And it feels almost like he's a diversion to what
Yeah,
is really the main story. I feel like, which is Batgirl, Damian, Harley, and Black Canary all
yeah.
going back to Gotham to take down Nightwing.
So I think we can
Um,
probably jump. I guess we can close that. We can kind of jump to the because yeah, like all this stuff is happening. This is packed
yeah, it's all over the
because you
place.
have all out war where I mean it is all out war. There's so much stuff happening. People are just dying everywhere. People are. I think Blue or Booster Gold gets just like cut in half. It's a real bummer.
A little bit.
um, you have like the cool Superman fight and whatever, and you have all this stuff happening. Different groups doing their thing, trying to like because you're not sure as you're reading it what's going to be the thing that stops this.
Right.
But yeah, as you said, we're left with our main group, and so Kane said, I can't say I was happy with the end of the main series. It could be because I wasn't expecting it. I like the way it came about.
So you didn't like watching not King Cold, Captain Cold explode?
Oh
Because I
yeah,
did.
I forgot about that already.
Yeah, he's like, just change the weather, and he's like, all
I've
right, and
never
then he just
changed it this way.
blew up. No, so I guess yeah, the ending is Barbara goes to kill Nightwing, and then he turns her.
She
And
goes and she's like, fine, I'll give it up, right? And I'll be with you. And then he like bites her neck. And then she turns and she's like, let's feed on Harley, right? Because she's there too. And
right,
she's like, you first, my love. And then he bites her, her blood's already poisoned and he dies. So
yeah, and so yeah, basically Barbara turns on him, and he bursts into flames, and it's great.
yeah.
And she becomes the vampire queen.
Yeah, because by order of vampire rules. I
Yep.
will say that, like, and I wonder if Kane felt this way. Um, I wasn't sure at the end where we stood because she's like, "Oh, I'll be the last sacrifice," and so I'm assuming she means that she's trying to be good with this, but I don't feel like it's quite. I wasn't quite sure at the end of this where we were with her because even Harley looked scared, even though this was
Yeah,
the plan.
I think it feels like it's a unfinished. Like the story's unfinished because they at this point it was supposed to be 6 issues.
Oh
And
wow,
yeah, and then they gave him 12, and so he went ahead and did the whole maxi series.
yeah,
And it feels like by that time they were like, okay, this has been selling, we're gonna set us up for a sequel.
yeah,
Which is exactly what he did. Because like you've got Green Arrow talking about the only thing left for humanity. There's only one hope, which is Kara.
yeah,
And they finally like get her powers, and the last image is her taking off into the sky.
yeah,
Um, but the last words, other than hope, are spoken by Barbara, and she says, "The war is over. I was the last casualty, and when I died, so did the last thing humanity had left to cling to,
yeah,
hope." And so it's yeah, without now that I'm dead, we're gonna run the place. We're gonna destroy humanity, and I'm gonna be in charge.
yeah,
And honestly, it makes me like, ooh, oh no. But
yeah.
also like, yes, mommy. Like, yeah, like vampire mommy Barbara is
Yeah.
I'm here for it. And so I'm very excited to like see what they're gonna do with her. Um
Yeah.
because like you see at the end, I'm trying to like find it here, like the dregs of who is remaining alive. Because like you don't have many. You got
Yeah.
Steel, you've got Lobo, who got really weirdly involved. Kara, Jada, Mary Marvel, Swamp Thing, Grifter, Ollie, Alfred. I was very glad to see Alfred.
Yeah.
Um, Damien is somewhere in the city. That's basically all you see. I don't know what's going to happen with Damien at this point.
I
I'm
am glad
interested
to
to see
hear
if he's
that
going to kill her.
there's gonna be more because I do understand. I did feel similar to Kane at the end of this because I didn't know until we jumped on this that there was gonna be more because I just felt like I didn't feel satisfied by the end because I was
Right.
like, okay, it's very cool that it ended that way. But if it was gonna just end there, I would have like upped the creep factor a little bit more with Barb. I don't know.
Right. Well, it
But I'm
felt
glad
like,
to know there's more.
and I know I've said this multiple times, but it felt Shakespearean. Like it
Yeah.
felt like he was writing a Shakespearean tragedy.
Yeah.
And so when that happened at the end, I was like, yeah, okay. Um, but instead of that being the ending, we're essentially going into intermission. Like, this is the
Yeah.
cliffhanger before the second act. Like,
Yeah.
in my head, I'm like, oh, this is the part where, you know, Mercutio's dead, and what are we gonna do? Spoilers for Romeo and Juliet. Um,
No.
I know. Or like the Phantom of the Opera's pissed now. What's gonna happen? Like, um, sorry, will Hamilton get elected? Who knows?
Uh,
Um, yeah, so it feels like it's the first act of a two-act
yeah.
story.
And I think as that, I really enjoy it. Like, I had a lot of fun with this. I will say I'm not big on, like, big action sequences.
Mhm,
That doesn't draw me to things. If it's sometimes in film or if it's animated, I feel differently, but big action scenes in comics, they kinda lose me, and that's just a
mhm.
personal thing. I think it was all very well done, very well drawn, and I can appreciate for that.
Yeah.
But what I was more interested in was the humanity pieces of this throughout that I really liked, like, the character moments and the betrayals and how that affected them, and I really had a good time with that, especially to reimagining characters in this.
Well,
Uh, more Roy Harper, it's whatever, but the rest is very good.
that's why, like I said, like, I think that my favorite scene in the whole thing is that scene where they're all just interacting when Bruce is testing them to see if they're
Yeah,
vampires. Like, it's just they're just
so
talking.
good.
I don't know. I enjoy watching them just talk. But no, the art's great. Can we talk about
Oh,
some of these
let's talk about the
variant
art.
covers?
So cool. Look at
My
that.
gosh, they're so good.
All the variant covers are so cool. All the art was fantastic. I don't have any complaints about that. Like,
Yeah, just
gorgeous.
sick stuff. There's one of Jane.
So
Oh my god, let
creepy.
me find the variant cover of Jaina that's like
Yeah.
the coolest cover I've ever seen. It's not actually the coolest cover I've ever seen, but I do love this, like,
Yeah.
because I'm like, that's the Wonder Twins from like that bad cartoon from the 70s. Like,
There were
I don't
some really
know.
cool covers, like I guess they were like the outsiders or whatever else. Like, let
Hmm.
me share. I've got, but like this one, I loved.
Oh yeah, they did all the like movie covers.
Yeah, I love all of the movie covers a lot. I thought they were very, very fun. That's definitely my
Breakfast Club.
kind of jam. Absolutely. Love those.
Yeah, and then you've just got like, oh man, Francesca Mattina, like just like some of these like
Yes.
ridiculously good. I don't know.
It'd
It's
be
just
really
crazy.
cool if because I love when they release these I love all these poster portfolios.
Hmm.
My house is covered in prints from those. It would be really cool if like now when we have these big events, they just release a poster portfolio for each one so we can have all these like variant covers. Because I would love these, especially when it feels more like the movie ones. I feel like I can put up in my like house in normal areas,
Right.
because it feels like it's more pulpy, right? And not
Yeah.
just like my regular comic book stuff.
Yeah, and they've done some great poster. Like, I think the only ones I have are the Joel Jones one and the Jenny Frisson because, of
I have
course.
those, of course. That's what goes to
Um,
my wall is that. So,
yeah, no, that Catwoman stuff from that Joel Jones portfolio is
so
amazing.
good. Yeah, I've got
Bring back Joel Jones to
Art
Catwoman.
Germ. Yeah, some Joel Jones.
Art wise, I prefer what Teeny Howard's doing with the book, but art wise, bring back Joel Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, they released a couple of those portfolios, I think, for Deceased.
Yeah, and I
So I'm hoping they'll do it for this with just the variants.
maybe.
Just Deceased had those very standard like variant covers that everybody knows,
Yeah,
of
I feel like
the
for the deceased one, so many of them are very just like bloody, which is not my
right.
I
Like,
would say my steez. People say that anymore?
this is one of the vampire covers where I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, this is very, and so is the Superman. Like, it's very
Oh, the
reminiscent of
Super one's
Deceased.
very cool.
The Wonder Woman one is very like, I want it to be better than it is
Yeah.
because it's just so dark that you can't really enjoy it too
Oh,
much.
it does look cool.
It is very cool, and she's got like talons coming out from a door. I just wish that like some of these, like the Nightwing one is very cool, but it's just a little dark.
Yeah.
The Joker one is very cool, but and that's coming from someone who doesn't like the Joker. Um, yeah, I
It'd be
mean the
nice if
art in
Otto
general.
had done more of the covers too.
Yeah,
I
and
like
I know
I like
like
Otto's art a lot because he posts a lot of the Titans art, so which is cool.
oh yeah, and to answer or not answer, but what Ryan said, yes, this is a
Oh,
sick cover.
yes.
This is ridiculous. Like, and I actually really like the Harley Quinn cover that they did too. It's fun, and I like fun. The Yeah, it's just a very simple
Yeah. I
Harley
liked her
Quinn
look
fighting
in
people.
this.
Yeah, it felt. I don't know. It felt like they were honoring the look we got from like Amanda Connor's run, but they
Yeah.
also kind of did some different things with her. Of course, I don't know. I like the current Harley a lot, but
Yeah. I'm
everybody
behind on a
everybody
lot
seems
of
to hate the current Harley. But
I
I
know,
like
right?
her as a hero. But I don't know.
That's
This
what
isn't
matters.
the state of DC comic books show.
Thank God
Which
it's not because I'm behind. I would need the special version of DC Universe to be able to do that.
I paid for a year of that last year, and I
Oh
haven't
man.
used it enough, or else I would do
I
it
think I
again.
just need to put that on the channels bill or something
There you go. Yeah.
so everybody has access to it. Because there's so much stuff I want to be reading right now, but I think that's probably the best way to do that. I think I'll probably
Oh
just take the
yeah.
hit eventually because
Well, the whole Night Terror series that just went down, like, sounds great.
yeah,
Haven't gotten to read it, and
well,
now
because
it's
there's
all
so
up there.
many individual ones, and I love that DC Universe. Like as far as like comic book apps, it's my favorite one. Still,
Oh,
it's
because
way
Marvel's terrible.
easier. Yeah, it sucks so bad. It's so hard to navigate. And DC's like, hey, we'll put the whole storyline together and
In
in
order.
order.
Yeah.
Love that.
Like,
Like,
Marvel
it,
does that with, like, a couple things, but they expect you to go back and forth between series, and you can't
yes,
save lists the way you can with
no,
DC, so, like, now you're typing in every time, like, "Oh, I gotta go back to
God,
this one, now I gotta go back to that."
I love that
Poison
list.
Ivy has been
Yeah,
great.
oh,
I
world's finest.
World's Finest, I have not read right now,
Oh,
actually.
oh,
I read
Steven's
the
so good.
first couple of Mark Waid's run, but is he still in the
Yeah,
book?
it's still him and Dan Mora. Yeah, I just got
Okay.
the second book in.
Oh,
I'm
man,
sure a lot of
Dan
it's on
Mora.
DC Universe, but I love it. I
I
love it.
love Dan
It
Mora.
feels so good. I was talking to Chris about this. Like, it's hard for me to keep up with a lot of like current DC stuff right now
Mhm,
because I don't know the bigger picture of what's happening in a lot of things. I don't need to know that for World's Finest. I don't need to know it for
mhm.
this, right? I don't need to know that for like the feudal one that I loved. I always forget the name of.
Oh,
Also, it's Dan Moore's art.
Knights of Steel?
Yeah, Knights of Steel. Really love that too. Uh, it's nice to be able to pick up those
Right.
and
Yeah,
just
no,
have
and
fun with
that's
them.
that's why Poison Ivy,
Oh yeah, I love. I read the
like,
first
it felt
volumes.
that way because all you needed to know was, like, a lot of bad shit went down during Fear I almost said Fear Street, that's the R.L. Stine
Fear
books.
Street,
Fear
Fear
State,
State.
and now she's gonna go kill everybody, and I'm like,
Yeah, I
"Okay."
love the first book a lot.
Yeah,
And
I
Supergirl One of Tomorrow, also a killer one this past year or whatever.
the one that bums me is I have not read any of the new, Titans stuff that Tom Taylor's doing, and I haven't read any of the new Batman and Robin series, which has always been, like, my,
Yeah.
like, trusty go-to book. I think there's only been a couple episodes or a couple issues of it, um, but yeah, I'm trying to even think. I still think at DC, hands down right now, the best book is Nightwing. Tom Taylor's
Yeah.
Nightwing is
Oh, yeah,
a
I have really liked that.
it's a perfect book. Like
The art direction's
it's
so
great.
good.
It's
Um,
the covers are good. The book is good. The story is just it's
so
all around very good. Tom Taylor, James Tinian, and I don't care what people say, come at me. Joshua Williamson is killing it.
ah, Green Arrow's so good. You
Uh,
know I don't read floppy to floppy, but I've got a pull list for Green Arrow, for World's Finest Teen Titans, and then Tales of the Titans, because and I'm very happy with Green Arrow right now. I'm having so much fun with it.
Joshua Williamson, people slept on him for a long time, and I think he's finally starting to like
Yeah.
get the recognition he deserves. Like they just put him on the main Superman book. Um, and I think he's writing some other like flagship title
Mm.
for them, but they only let him have Batman for
Ugh.
like 6 issues or less, one arc, and then they were like, okay, now
I
move
just want
on.
I want him to be able to be focused on this. Him and Shauna Kazi, because they both they're big fans of the work. And the
Mhm.
fact that Sean was like, Harper Harper's my favorite. I was like, Sean, that redesign's so good.
Yeah, I think it's the
Mm.
time of Joshua Williamson is here and it's coming, and I'm
Yeah.
very excited because all those compendiums are being released of like Ghosted and Nailbiter and like
Love Nailbiter.
I love Nailbiter so much. Birthright needs a compendium,
Ah,
period.
yes.
Like the fact that it would probably be two because it's a long series,
Yeah.
but the fact that it doesn't have a compendium is garbage. What do you do in Image? Like
I know.
Ghosted is great, but Birthright is greater. Um,
Yeah, there's a whole Birds of Prey series with Bard in it. I haven't read that either.
yep,
So
I haven't touched a lot of the like new series because they're doing the thing now where okay, all the creative teams are kind of switching over. I'm
yeah,
weird
because
in that
Jason Aaron's going on Superman, right?
I think Joshua Williamson's on
Oh, I
Superman.
thought Jason Aaron was. Wait, let me
I
see.
could be wrong. Um,
To Twitter.
to Twitter.
Because
The only
I
one I'm
it's a
not
big deal. He was
interested
making so
in, and I feel very bad because people love this guy, Tom
Oh, Action
King.
Comics. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Tom King is on Wonder Woman. I Tom King is fine. Everybody like loves him. I think he's too smart for his own good sometimes, kind of the way I feel about Hickman,
I definitely feel that way about Hickman.
where I'm just like, tone it down. Give me. I mean, I understand you're smart. It's great. I'm not smart. Like,
I will say, if you haven't read, because I haven't read the new Wonder Woman yet with Tom King on it. I'm going to because it's Wonder Woman and I love the art. Tom King on Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. It was perfect.
okay,
No notes.
I'll give it a read.
I I was very pleased.
World's Finest is already on issue 20.
Yeah, it's long. It's
I
been
picked up
going.
the first couple. God, it's been that long.
Now you just have to buy the trays instead. Well, like maybe they're just hardcovers. I don't know, but they're
Yeah,
good. They're
Williamson's
really
on
covers.
Superman. Teeny Howard is still on. Which,
Yeah, it
if
looks
you're not
like
reading Teeny Howard's Catwoman,
Jason.
you're missing out.
Yeah,
Like they are taking her back to like gangsters and robbing people, and like the best Catwoman
yay.
getting away from her super powered friends, and like no,
Yeah.
she's just in the criminal underground, and it's the best.
So I was wrong. Jason Aaron's going to Action Comics.
Okay, that's kind of Superman.
Yeah, yeah. So that's in January. So
Now
that's
I'm like
cool.
seeing all these new things. I'm like,
Oh man, have you seen the? So Dan Mora is doing the art for Batman Santa Claus Silent Night. Have you seen that? You gotta see
no, but
this.
that sounds amazing.
You've gotta see this daddy he made. It's just look at this. Look at this. Look
I
at this
love that.
absolute zaddy Santa
I love it.
that Dan Morris created. And
I
so
love it so much. I'm 100% in. Also, I'm now gonna bite my tongue because apparently Tom King is the one writing Batman Brave and the Bold.
Yeah.
and I will be reading that, as well as
Well, you have to
Batman
be
and
Supergirl one of
Robin.
tomorrow. You don't have a choice.
Oh,
Sorry.
Batman and Robin's Joshua Williamson though. See, that just it. He's
Gosh,
everywhere, and I love him.
he's creeping up.
Birds of Prey. Who's writing that?
I don't remember.
Kelly Thompson.
That'll
Ooh,
be good then.
that gonna be good.
And Barda's in it. More Barda everywhere.
I'm very
Oh,
invested in that now. Now I'm just like
yeah.
looking, and I'm like, they're doing it right over there.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Marvel fans. Like, DC sucked for a long time, and sometimes it still does.
Sometimes it
But
still does.
the creative teams they're putting together are awesome.
There's some good books in there.
The internet isn't reachable.
The Alexa yelled at me. That was
You're incorrect.
yeah, that was not fun. But I will tell you, I haven't read the new series they just started with Dawn of DC. But if anybody out there in YouTube land has somehow not read Tom Taylor's Superman,
I have.
the Jonathan Kent run, um, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's 17 issues. It's very digestible. He's now writing one called Adventures of Superman, John Kent, because they basically had to like. Of course, they were going to bring back Superman, and so it's like, okay, well, the aged forward Jonathan Kent can't be Superman anymore. That series though, of like him as like a 18-year-old Superman, like it's so good, so well written. The character is amazing, or the characters are amazing. It's hella gay, and I love it. It's there's just a million things going on in that book that everybody should read it. It is only 17 issues. You have no excuse not to. It's the same thing I tell people about Robin by Joshua Williamson. It was only 17 issues, and it was hilarious and fun, and
That's what I like to hear now, honestly. Keep it.
Robin had no business being that fun. Like it you had like a Hunger Games situation going on with all these kids on Lazarus Island. And it's all the like Ravager and him and a new one called Flatline who's really cool.
Yeah.
And it's like Robin reading manga, and they're all fighting each other, and the whole thing becomes they have 3 lives and they're resurrected on Lazarus Island.
Did I read some of
But if
this?
they die, I don't know. If they die 3 times, like they're dead.
I feel like I've read some of this.
It's great.
Okay,
it's short. I think it's only like 3 trades, but
yeah. Well, I want to read the rest of that though.
yeah, no, it's really good. There's some stuff toward the end. Anyway.
Yeah.
Now I just want to sit and talk DC Comics with you, but this has been the longest episode of your show that's ever been.
No, it's been fun. Just pick a Tuesday in December. Let's do it again because I'm having a lot of fun. This has been nice.
Hey, I'm in. I had a long day at work, and I was like, I gotta go home, and I'm excited to see Maddie. But I'm not excited to talk about comics because I'm so tired. And now I'm just like, I want to sit up and talk about comics.
I feel the same
night
way.
long.
I was so tired. I'm like, I'm jazzed now. So we have to pick a Tuesday. I miss you. Let's do that.
Yes, I would. We'll bring Steven back like once a month.
Yeah, Steven. Yeah, let's have Jess join too.
Yeah.
Anyways, I should wrap it up. I have to make something for my work's Thanksgiving potluck tomorrow. So
Ooh.
I have a life outside of this torso existing here.
I don't.
I'll be back next week with something. I really haven't figured it out yet. I need to figure out when Omar wants to do when he shows up. And so once I know that, then I can figure out the rest.
Be back with something.
You know, I'll be here. I just don't know with what yet. So,
you know, I have my kid Tuesday, or else I would offer. I feel like I'll come back and do it again. But
the same book. No.
Yeah, no, that same book. Just to see. No, now we're going to read all the Deceased at one time.
I have wanted to read that.
It's good. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to, but I really did. Tom Taylor's.
I mean,
he's
I
good.
like Tom Taylor, so it'd be good.
Yeah, I mean, he's very good. Anyway,
Chat, thank you for being here, for chatting it up with us. Steven, this was lovely. Thank you
thanks
so
for
much.
bringing me back.
Thanks
Like
for
a
being
phoenix
here.
from the ashes, I have returned.
I don't know why I do this. Anyways,
That's a
Steven,
phoenix.
don't go anywhere yet. Good night, everybody. I'll see you all next week. Goodbye.